It's MSI season again, and for those not in the loop, MSI stands for America's Speedrunning Initiative. So instead of looking forward to the reigning champions airport tour, instead what's gotten me most excited is the brand new digital cosmetics. As last year we saw the debut of Ink Shadow. Being directly tied to MSI and as a brand new idea with varied and interesting aesthetics across each champion be the face of the event made it all the more hype. So what is Riot gonna do to top Ink Shadow this year? By bringing back one of the most samey and repetitive skin lines ever created. And that hurts because the backstory of Empyrean is actually one of my favorites. This version of Pyke's home dimension was destroyed by a cosmic power known as the Foreglow, turning him into the first Empyrean. Hateful and jealous, other Pykes didn't suffer the same fate. He spends an eternity traveling between alternate dimensions to kill their version of Pyke, and by doing so causes that specific universe to collapse as well, creating an entirely new Empyrean in the aftermath. It's just a shame such an awesome concept has very little payoff because, while the aesthetic of Empyrean is fantastic, besides obvious anatomical differences between the champions, every single Empyrean skin is almost identical. So to hear they were coming back doesn't fill me with too much excitement. Unless this new blood was going to be some radical departure from the original incarnation, it's obvious this was just going to be more of the same idea plastered onto new champions, and were they?
Yes.
Empyrean Malzahar. Oh my god. Actual space age. Making Malzahar the self-proclaimed voice of the Foreglow, purposefully trying to collapse alternate universes in its name, is a neat parallel to how in League he's, you know, the brainwashed slave of a stingray. It's certainly the Empyrean sounds, effects, and visuals plastered onto that oh-so-crusty 2009 model. At least the dagger finally got a bit of attention for like 1 second of the recall, so that's good, I guess. Sapphire is the best chroma, 6 out of 10. Empyrean Brand. Don't lie to me, without the fire effect you'd have no idea this was a different champion, none of you! At least aesthetically he fits better than most of these champions. The Foreglow is often described as neon flames after all. A while back Brand's particle effects were updated and I was a little upset about how clean they became. So at the very least it's nice to see that this one brought back a bit of that chaos. Neon Facade is the best chroma, 6 out of 10. Empyrean Nocturne. This one makes me very sad, and not for the reason you think. Unlike literally all the rest of these skins, Nocturne isn't a normal Empyrean. He's been there since day one, a dimensional parasite who inadvertently disrupted the Foreglow and caused Pyke's universe to collapse. The Empyreans exist because of Nocturne, and what a sorely missed opportunity. A cosmic power before the Foreglow even existed, the architect of this entire skin's mythos, and it's just Empyrean Zed with his legs amputated. As old as he is, Nocturne has proven he can make some pretty decent skins, but to me, this is not one of them. Pearl is the best chroma, 6 out of 10. Empyrean Akali. So, everyone sees this just looks like one of her W forms gained sentience and became its own skin, right? It's the Empyrean aesthetic slapped onto Akali, except this time it's slightly more green, and with an incredibly unsatisfying ult sound. Amethyst is the best chroma, 5 out of 10. Empyrean Kale. In a nice twist, in this universe, Kale and Morgana actually never fought. Morgana still did her usual compassionate and fair justice, but this time Kale just didn't care. So after her universe collapsed, believing it was punishment for her indifference, she took up her sister's mantle to continue her legacy. It's not anything impressive, but like any good Kale skin, the evolved form is when it becomes great. The dark purple skin in contrast with those bright glowing wings and flaming hair, it's satisfying to look at, even more so in the final state. Kale has definitely seen better over the years, but as far as Empyrean skins go, this one's better than most. MSI 2024 Chaos, whatever that means, is the best chroma, 7 out of 10. With the Prestige, Empyrean Varus. I'm conflicted on this. On one hand, I do like that a champion who didn't yet have a legendary skin finally got one. I think I'm just used to the opposite at this point. But on the other hand, Varus here is no more significant to the narrative than any of the other Empyreans. With Pyke, he is the centerpiece of this thematic, and therefore it makes sense for him to be the legendary. Let's be honest, Nocturne could use a glow up from those animations. So why is it Varus? I can tell you why. Kai and Valmar in-game models at last. Let's f***ing go. Smooth as hell animations, brand new animations for stuff like whether he pressed W before charging Q, and of course plenty of new voice lines for the man with 2 gay men inside him.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I probably should have worded that differently. It's not the same level as Pyke, but still a solid addition to Varus' mostly lacking lineup of skins. Ruby is the best chroma, 8 out of 10. Overall, Empyrean 2024 gets a 6.5 out of 10. If I had one word to describe the Empyrean thematic as a whole, it would be mediocre.
Mediocre?
If you enjoy Empyrean's aesthetic and wanted it on your favorite champion, more power to you. But to me, skin lines are far more interesting when they play off each individual champion's strengths instead of just repeating the same formula on a different bag of flesh. But those are my thoughts. What do you fellas think of Empyrean's return? Do you find them as mediocre as I, or perhaps RGB lights are just to your tastes? Personally, I don't really know what to expect next week, and nor do I have any hopes for what the next batch of skins will be. I'm more so worried about the impending arrival of Vanguard. Right, I already had computer troubles before this. I do not need it blue screening every 5 minutes because of Vanguard again. Please don't f this up, thank you.